Let's make some noise. Come on.
That's right, Nick Foles. Let's make some noise. Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to another beginning of another broadcast week of your boy. Final word with MattyB here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network with your boy MattyB on the call. And you may be wondering, Matt, you said you were on the road, you were leaving town. Yeah, well, I was. But a funny thing happened on my way to Tennessee. I never got there. I never even left the house because, you know, I do this all the time. I have two images of the world. I have the cold winter image that I live in every day. And then I have that southern, you know, gentle breezes, you know, wafting against the palm trees and, you know, what all that crap. Unfortunately, I wasn't headed to a tropical island. I was going to Tennessee, which is not necessarily in the deep south. And they're dealing with their own version of winter down there as well. And unfortunately, or fortunately, it turned out to be fortunately because I didn't get on the road, but unfortunately because I didn't get on the road. But they had to cancel the game on today. The game that was scheduled for today was canceled yesterday, thankfully, before I hit the road. So I ended up staying home. And my next game is not until the 23rd, so I get to stay home for a couple more weeks before I have to permanently head down there and finish out the season. So my baseball season is on delay for at least another couple weeks, but that's great. It's okay. Get to spend some time here at the house, some more time with the family, some more time here at base camp with you guys before I had to take this thing on the road. But yes, so that is why I'm still sitting here in my palatial digs in my base camp home studio and not broadcasting from some seedy motel on Route 66. You know, that's not yet, at least. Soon enough, you'll be seeing me there. But for at least 2 weeks or so, I'll be leaving between the 18th and 21st of February. So, you know, about 10, 11, 12 days, whatever it is. But this week and most of next week, I'll be home. So I'll get that out of the way. So again, I apologize for misleading you. I had every intention of heading down. Matter of fact, I was packed and raring to go. Car was warmed up. Literally, this is how this went down. Literally ready to go, and then the call came to, you know, stand down. So unfortunate, but fortunate, as I said, because I get to stay home and I get to be here with you. Now, reason why I didn't go on the air last night is because, well, I mean, it was the Super Bowl. So I figured I'd give the Super Bowl its due. I don't know how many people would be tuning in to me while watching that barn burner, 29-13 Seahawks over Patriots game last night on Super Bowl 60. I fell asleep, actually. I know all the hubbub is over the halftime stuff. And we'll talk that if you like. I have no problem getting into that conversation because you can talk politics here. I don't really care. We can discuss what you want. But I fell asleep with about 6 minutes to go in the second quarter and did not wake up until the opening kickoff of the third quarter. So I missed the entire. I didn't know what I didn't see it anyway. So I didn't see neither of the halftime shows because I was asleep, which, you know, tells you a little bit. It tells you everything you need to know about the game. But the Patriots did lose 29-13, failing to capture their record-setting seventh Super Bowl. It would have been that, you know, they would have propelled themselves into the all-time NFL lead. Instead, the Seahawks, with their second Super Bowl championship in their history. Congratulations to the Seattle Seahawks on a job well done. Sam Darnold on a job well done. Now, in the game, of course, what have I heard this morning from Eagles fans? I mean, can you just leave it go, man? Can Eagles fans not like just leave it leave it there? We weren't in the Super Bowl, but what do I hear? Oh, we could have went in there and beat either one of these teams in that game. That is such an irrelevant point to bring up because we couldn't get past the 49ers. So for you to sit here and tell me that, we would have no problem dealing with the Patriots or the Seahawks in the Super Bowl, I don't want to hear it. It's nonsense. You couldn't get past the 49ers. So I don't want to hear that, but indubitably that was the conversation all day today about how we could have went in there and won that game yesterday. And I'm going to counter that with, really? With the way our offense played, with the way the offense did not, evolve at all, we would have gotten to the Super Bowl and won. No, come on, man. That's ridiculousness. But Super Bowl's in the books. We have a new champion, and we will see that new champion soon enough, as we have the Seahawks on our home part of our 2026 schedule. So Seattle will come to Philly. Early over under odds. Does anybody think that game will not be a nationally televised game? Monday night, Sunday night, or Thursday night? I would feel pretty confident that game will be televised at night in front of a national televised audience. And an even funnier thing, as I started kind of looking into this a bit, the Patriots actually are on the Seahawks home portion of their schedule next year. So very, very, very rarely does this set up like this. When you win the Super Bowl, you get the honor of kicking off the next season. You'll have that Thursday night game, and you'll have it at home. But very rarely does it match up to where you could potentially have a Super Bowl rematch to kick off the 2026 season. And now you do. The Patriots are on the Seattle Seahawks home schedule in 2026. So does the NFL dare? Do they do it? Do they dare send the Patriots to Seattle to kick off the 2026 season? I mean, how would you deal with that? One, as a fan base and as a player, I would personally invite that. If I was Mike Vrabel, I would be petitioning the NFL as of now. Start today. Give us that first game. Send us to Seattle on opening night, because I want them, my team, to see it. I want them to live the moment that they could have had. I want that wound to be ripped open, because I want that to turn. And I want that to be the motivation for my football team in 2026. But does the NFL dare do that? A Super Bowl rematch to start the 2026 season? It can happen. The Seahawks and the Patriots are on the Seahawks home schedule in 2026. Does the NFL turn around and do that for us? And how do you guys feel about it as a fan? I mean, is this something we want to see? The last two games that we've watched in 9 or 6 to 9 months is the Patriots and the Seahawks. I don't know. I always thought that would be the right thing to do. Honestly, if you have the ability to do it, if you can get it done, if you have the logistical matchup, which we have this year, it doesn't happen often. But the Seahawks, who, obviously get that first game, they will kick off the season in 2026. They will get that Thursday night game. They have an opportunity because the Patriots are on their home schedule. They could play the Patriots to kick off the season. And again, as I said, if I was Vrabel, I'd be like, yes, put us on it. I want to go there. I want them to see the rings, the banner. I want it all, because I want these guys to, be motivated to achieve greatness. And does the NFL do it? I think they should. Honestly, I think they should. Bruce, what's going on, man? How are you tonight? I felt the Super Bowl was bad, as the Patriots are not very good, but they played easy games, so they got to the finals. Well, when you're a 14-loss team in 2024, you're not going to get the best. You're not going to get the hardest schedule. And what do Eagles fans always say? What do the homers spout all the time when it comes to the schedule? We can't control the schedule, right? We can't control that. We just play who we're supposed to play. And that's what the Patriots did. Did they get lucky along the way? 100%. The Bo Nix situation was obviously the luck there, right? I'm not going to sit here and, defame the Patriots schedule. They played the games they had to play, and they won the games they had to win. Now, when it came down to it, obviously they lost to the better football team. So there's no way you can control that. They were a 13-loss team last year, or a 14-loss team last year. Of course, they were going to get a bad schedule, but they had to handle their business, and they did. And they ran roughshod through their own division. They had to play Bills twice. They had to play those teams twice and all that. So, I get it, but I'm not going with that. I feel maybe the Eagles will make it next season as we have a much better team than the Patriots, but we are at NFC. We're okay. Explain more in detail, Bruce, how you feel that the Eagles are not a better, but a much better team than the Patriots. Because I like to know. I want to know. Let's look at coaches. Would you put Vrabel up against Sirianni? Who wins that battle? I'll take Mike Vrabel. All right. Quarterback, Drake May versus Jalen Hurts. Oh, I don't know. I'll take Drake May. We have an offensive line that could potentially lose 2 starters to retirement, right? We obviously have not drafted well or developed well because there's no depth behind the offensive line. And that's a question that has to be answered in the offseason. You got a number 1 wide receiver who's dysfunctional and doesn't want to be here. You got no tight ends on your roster right now. All of them are free agents. They're completely out the door. You got a running back room that consists of Saquon, who apparently, I hope he's not like lost a step. I hope it was fatigue, what some of the homers are saying it was this year. You got Saquon Barkley to deal with. Other than that, Tank Bigsby, yeah, nice little change of pace guy, but is he really your number 2? Matt Shipley, an unpotentialified draft pick that never really developed. Let's go on the defensive side of things. Still don't have a CB2, have a safety problem. They don't have enough depth up front, and they have a edge rushing issue. I don't know where you're telling me that the Eagles are a much better team than the Patriots. Bruce, that is a erroneous statement, in my opinion. We are at the infancy part of the free agency situation. You cannot make that claim. Right now, everybody is on the same wavelength, if you ask me. Until also 23 free agents that are on this football team. So right now, the Eagles don't even have a team. All right. You can't say they're a much better team than the Patriots because by league rules, the Eagles don't even have enough people to constitute a roster. So I totally disagree with that statement. I honestly believe, I said this last week, Rome is falling, and Eagles fans just don't understand that. It's going to be a rough season next year. It could potentially be an 8-9 season. We'll go over the schedule again, if you like, a little bit later on. But I'm not going to make that claim at all, that they're a much better team than the Patriots. Not at all. I'm sorry I wrote MattyB, which is dumb. No, it's whatever, man. Whatever. MattyB, we have a top quarterback. Top quarterback, right. You have a top quarterback. Okay, so let's dissect that a little bit. Top quarterback that allegedly doesn't want to run the football anymore. A top quarterback that has problems reading defenses. A top quarterback that refuses to throw the football over the middle. A top quarterback that may or may not be responsible for not getting offensive coordinators to come here and play. A top quarterback that may have been the reason why Jeff Stoutland left. A top quarterback that cannot get along with his first and only dominant wide receiver. Don't understand that statement either. What is top quarterback about Jalen Hurts? Bruce, let me ask you this. If you had the opportunity to redraft the entire NFL, not a specific draft year or a specific draft class, but if you took all the current players in the National Football League and we took them off their teams, we threw them in a big pot, you're the GM of the Eagles, you get the number 1 pick of this new rebuild draft where you can start rebuilding your team. Everyone's going to start over. And you now have the first pick in this new draft. And the only players you can draft are players that were currently on 53-man rosters this past season. Are you taking Jalen Hurts with the number 1 overall pick? No, you're not. You're not taking him with your number 1 overall pick. I don't even think he goes in the top 10, to be honest with you. He's not a top quarterback. He's a mid quarterback at best. Running back. Okay, what happened to the running back? I mean, he rushed for over 1,000 yards. That was pretty impressive. But the year before that, he was 2,500 yards. Saquon Barkley was pretty unimpressible in 2025. 2 of the better wide receivers. You mean 1 of the better wide receivers. The other one doesn't want to be here. And I'm not listening to the Micah Parsons stuff. I'm not listening to any of that crap. He doesn't want to be here. And our DC is better. Okay, our DC is better. What happened against the 49ers, Bruce? What happened against the 49ers? He couldn't stop one person. Christian McCaffrey was the focal point of that offensive attack. And Vic Fangio and the defense failed. Now, granted, they didn't fail hard. They gave the Eagle offense an opportunity. Oh, so come on, man. Let's put it in perspective a little bit. We have a new OC who you know nothing about. That could be one of many things. Could be a dud, a stud, whatever. There's too much unknown there, and we have. Now you're just being ridiculous. Okay. Ooh. It's been a minute since I've done the Howie Roseman rant. It has. I ain't gonna lie. It's been a minute. Let's go, Howie Roseman. All right. And this is an interesting point that you bring up because of all the venom that's going towards Kevin Patullo, all the venom at Sirianni, all the venom at Hurts, all the venom at, I guess Stoutland, I guess. Maybe some to Jeff Lurie. There's not much venom headed towards Howie Roseman. Have you noticed that? How he's sort of danced in between the raindrops on this and sort of slink back into the shadows. It's pretty impressive, if you ask me. Because with all this infighting that we do, and we do a lot of it, one of the problems with this team, one of the big problems with this team was the roster. And it wasn't deep enough. It wasn't good enough. It didn't have, it wasn't hitting on all the cylinders. The 2025 draft class was extremely unimpressive. None of those players developed beyond second teamers. The entire draft class did not develop. Will they develop in 26, 27, beyond? Who knows? But in 2025, none of them stepped up to be day one contributors. Campbell did for a minute until offenses figured him out. Makuba got hurt, but prior to him getting hurt, he was teetering a bit. But other than that, very unimpressive 2025 draft class. Okay, the free agent signings that Howie made in 2025. Not very impressive either. Let a lot of key people walk. Brought in the wrong replacements. I mean, come on. When are we going to start looking back at Howie Roseman? Because at the end of the day, he created the roster. At the end of the day, it's his kick the can down the road money scheme that this team essentially is built upon. And now it's starting to get a little sticky. Right now, we're going to be like, well, I got to restructure you, restructure him. Will you take a pay cut? I got to cut you. Now it's getting a little sticky. So he ain't the number one GM in all of football. Far from it. He's actually part of what's wrong with this organization, him, Sirianni, and Hurts. And this team will truly never see greatness, never achieve the greatness that they can achieve until them three are gone, out of here. So, unfortunately, Bruce Harper, we're not on the same page on this. Unfortunately, we're not going to see the same with any of this because I don't believe in any of it. I don't believe in Nick Sirianni's ability to do anything on the sidelines other than bitch and moan. I don't believe in Howie Roseman's ability as a GM. I do give you one thing with Howie. Very lucky GM. Very lucky man. And I will definitely give you that. But I don't believe in him. And Jalen Hurts, as much as I don't believe in Jalen Hurts, I still believe in his ability to be an average starting quarterback. And that's all you need. That's really all you do need in this league. I'm not saying you need an elite player. We just need someone that can go out there and take the snaps on every day and not screw it up. And Jalen Hurts fits that bill. So I'm okay with Jalen being the quarterback. But the other two, they got to go. They got to go. Oh, man, Star Wars. Star Wars, please bring some sanity to this conversation, man. Offense is going to be bad again. I don't know, Star Wars. I don't know what the offense is going to be. And none of us do. There's a lot of question marks heading into this offseason. And I just named about 9 of them. First and foremost, with the offense, what is the offensive line going to look like? Yeah, I got it. We got a new coordinator. Whoopie-doo. We've been down that road before. What's the line going to look like if Lane Johnson and Landon Dickerson step away? All right. Has anybody really kind of jumped into that a little bit? And say they don't jump, say they don't walk away, say they stay. Are they going to stay healthy all season long? Is Cam Jurgens going to be able to hang in there? Listen, there's a lot of problems with there's some issues up front with the offensive line. And then I mentioned the 2025 draft class and the draft classes behind that, especially on the offensive line front. They have not developed. They have not stepped into their own roles yet. Does this by the way, a new offensive line coach was hired today. So they've got another piece to the puzzle, got some attachments there to Sean Mannion. So maybe that's the step in the right direction, but there's way too many question marks with this football team heading in. We're like day one of the offseason. New league year hasn't begun yet. 23 impending free agents, a draft class that, they got a good amount of picks, decent positions. He might be able to do something with those. But there's still so many questions on this team. You're not going to sell me. I'm not resting on the laurels of what happened in 2024 anymore. They might have got lucky there. I think what we saw last season was a more true representation of what this football team is versus than what we saw in 2024. And that's what happens when you get lucky versus build a winner. That's what happens. You get these like surges, right? But it always levels out. And that's what happens with this football team. They're great, bad, great, bad, great. I mean, it's a sick ass cycle. But I don't know about offense is going to be bad. There's still too many questions at this part of the offseason. Matty, I feel I was the best and can make a lot of OT, make a lot of good moves to fill out the holes. And also, Nick has won so many games. I feel he's awesome. What did Howie do last season there, Bruce? Tell me. What was Howie's offseason plan in 2025? Because we had the similar questions heading into that offseason than we do now. Still don't have a number 2 cornerback. Still don't have a real competent safety group, right? We still don't have those guys, and we had those issues coming into last offseason. The defensive line, after saying goodbye to Milton Williams, right, and Josh Sweat, still didn't replace them adequately. The draft picks that Howie selected did not step into the role last year. The depth along that line was so bad they had to bring old man Graham back out of retirement. So, again, tell me the moves that he made in 2025 to fill out the holes on this football team, because those holes are still here. And now we have more holes with another year of contracts. So, again, I want to know. I want to know what are the moves? What's the strategy? And what do you think he's going to do? I don't buy it, man. I don't buy it. And don't even get me started with Nick Sirianni. Oh, man. But MattyB, I feel you make many good points, and I feel we could draft Mahomes or maybe Burrow or even Daniels. Yeah, I'm telling you. Again, I want to be very clear, though. I don't hate Jalen Hurts. I don't. I just don't love him. And to me, he's very replaceable. But there are far worse options than Jalen Hurts out there. Far worse. There's some better ones, but there's far worse. He's a mid guy, and that's fine to have that. There's nothing wrong with having that. You saw it last night. 2 mid quarterbacks battling out in the snooze bowl, and one of them won, and that's fine. And Sam Darnold's a Super Bowl champion. He didn't win the MVP, so I guess Jalen Hurts stands alone there. But you don't need an elite quarterback to win Super Bowls. You don't need a Pat Mahomes. You don't need a Tom Brady. You might need a Pat Mahomes and a Tom Brady to be a dynasty, which, of course, what happened there? We had the chance to be a dynasty in 2025. What happened to your GM, your head coach, your great quarterback? What happened there? We had that chance to be a dynasty, and it was snatched out of our hands. So it's okay to have a very good quarterback, but to have an elite quarterback, well, that's where dynasties are born. And unfortunately, we don't have an elite quarterback. So I fear a dynasty may not happen. You're making me reconsider a little bit, but I still feel we are better than the Patriots. Well, yeah, listen, I don't want you to reconsider your feelings, man. You hang into your beliefs, dude. Don't make anybody the ability to sway your opinion. I'm telling you where I come from, right? I might, people say I look at things from the other side too much, but as far as the Patriots went last night, that was a team that wasn't prepared for that moment. Now, you brought a point earlier about the schedule, right? And I said, when you're a 14-loss team, it is what it is. You got to play who you play, and you still got to win those games. But obviously, they got a little bit of lucky with the Broncos there in the playoffs, without Bo Nix. And then they ran up against a very, very, very good defense. And Drake May was not ready. And will he ever be ready? I don't know. Is there an official changing of the guard in the AFC East? I don't think so. I think the Bills will be back. And I still think that they get Josh Allen a goddamn wide receiver or two, things might be different. But the better team won, right? The better team won that football game. Terrible game. Ugh. Joe Hale, what is up, man? My girlfriend's father has season tickets for 30 years, and he says Howie is awesome, and that also AJ Brown's a cancer. Howie is not awesome. He's not. AJ is a cancer. Can I open the phone lines? Yes, I think I will do that. But Matty, he won a Super Bowl with Howie and Nick and Hurts and Saquon. So Matty, we won a Super Bowl with Howie, Nick, Hurts, Saquon. Fangio, Moore, Tanner McKee, Landon Dickerson, Cam Jurgens, Lane Johnson, Cooper DeJean, Quinyon Mitchell, N'Kobe Dean. It wasn't Howie, Nick, and Hurts and Saquon who won the Super Bowl. Let's be very clear. It was the team. And I just said Howie is a very lucky GM. I will definitely give you that. But answer me the question about the dynasty. You had it in the palm of your hands. You had it this year. Where was the Super Bowl GM? Where was the fantastic GM this year with this opportunity to usher in something that this fan base deserves more than any other fan base in the league? And that's a dynasty. What happened to it? What happened to your awesome GM when he had the opportunity to snatch history for his city, for this fan base? They came up small. And they came up small across the board. It wasn't Howie's fault alone. It wasn't Nick's fault alone. It wasn't Saquon's fault alone. It wasn't Jalen's fault alone. It was everybody's. So, again, if you want to tell me these guys are something great, then what happened to greatness this year? You have to achieve greatness before you can call somebody great. Greatness would have been winning a Super Bowl this year. Greatness would have been going back-to-back and ushering in the Eagle dynasty. Where is the backlash? Where is the outcry for not completing the job this year? I'll tell you where it is. It's up there on Calvary Hill, where Kevin Patullo and Jeff Stoutland are hanging on crosses right now as the sacrificial lambs to the Eagle fan base. While the three-headed Hydra, Nick Sirianni, Jalen Hurts, and Howie Roseman, roam the countryside, wreaking havoc on the farmers. That's where your greatness is. You got sacrificial lambs up there on the hill on their cross, while the animal and the beast still walks free. Okay? So, again, I will accept and give the credit where the credit is due. It was an amazing run in 2025, and I'll give you another 2025 fact. Saquon Barkley, 2,500 all-purpose yards. The defense turned into a turnover-forcing machine down the stretch of 2024 and into the playoffs. I believe they forced 13 turnovers in the playoffs in like 4 games. They're averaging over 3 turnovers a game. From week 9 to the end of the Super Bowl of last year, I think they forced 31 turnovers. So you have Saquon's 2,500 all-purpose yards. You got the defense doing the things you got them doing, and you got Jalen Hurts, who was doing his thing. If you took away Jalen Hurts' contributions for the 2024 Eagles, do they still win a Super Bowl? 100% yes. You take away Saquon Barkley's contributions to the 2024 Eagles and just have Jalen in the defense, do they win a Super Bowl? No. You take away the defense's contributions to the 2024 Eagles and you just have Jalen and Saquon, do they still win the Super Bowl? The answer is no. You know it. You know it as well as I do what those answers are. So again, greatness is awesome and a great team would be awesome. And I'm not wanting one to be greater than the other. I want a great team and a great franchise. Why do we not have an offensive coordinator? And does your girlfriend's dad fall into that Homer category of, well, they were just waiting for the right person? Does he really believe, or do you believe, does anybody believe out there that Sean Mannion was the only person we offered this that job to? Come on, man. No. And why was Jeff Stoutland sacrificed? Why was he shunned? Why was he thrown out the door like he was a bag of trash? This is not the gold standard football organization. This is the Titanic, and Daffy Duck is the captain. All right? And I fear for 2026, and I fear for it very, very much. I'm worried the Phillies more than the Eagles, who will be a top team next year. But I think I am stupid about it. Maybe I am more worried for the Phillies than the Eagles, who I feel will be a top team next year. But I know you think I am. Did I say you were stupid? Oh man, come on! Don't take it so personal. All right, hit me back, man. Let's go. Let's have a fun debate. I'm not making fun of you, man. Come on, man. As far as the Phillies go, well, I'm gonna get to man. We're 31 minutes into the show. I haven't even really talked about the Phillies, but we're gonna talk Phillies tonight. I promise. The Phillies won't win anything with Rob Thompson. Star Wars. You don't need my negativity. You got Star Wars floating around out here. It'll keep everybody regulated. I feel you're very persuasive, and maybe I'm not 100%, but I feel we are not as bad as you think. But I have faith in Howie and Nick, so I hope I am right. But I can be wrong, and so could I. And I guess you know what. And that's really what it comes down to. I mean, here's the deal with me, Bruce. And to be very blunt, I don't believe in what they're selling. Okay, I don't believe in the culture. I don't believe in the philosophy of what this team is. I think we're a joke around the NFL. I think other franchises and organizations look at us and they laugh. They laugh at what they see walking on our sidelines, right? They laugh. They probably had a real big laugh on this whole offensive coordinator thing. I just don't think we're respected around the NFL. And I understand why we're not. Some of the things that are happening internally with this football team are starting to concern me. Now, more than anything in the world, do I want to come back into the fray and be part of what could be. But I can't under this current regime. I despise them. I despise what they stand for. I despise the way they go about things. I despise that the city did not revolt completely when Nick Sirianni did not deliver a dynasty, or when Howie Roseman did not deliver the dynasty. Why is there passes given? Why is Nick receiving a pass? Why is Howie receiving a pass? Why is Jalen receiving a pass? But we're going to hang Patullo up on the hill. We're going to show Stoutland the door. Why? Isn't that a little bit redundant? Why are you going after the lesser evils and not attacking, as I said, the Hydra, the three-headed snake? So again, this is not about wrong or right, Bruce. It's not. And I'm sure you have great opinions to back it up. It's not about wrong or right. It's about how I feel versus how you feel. And unfortunately, it's not the same. But guess what? Welcome to America. All right. This is the society we live in. We can agree to disagree and not be enemies. Right now, there's people out there that fear me. I mean, they're scared to death of me for whatever reason, and they treat me as the enemy, and that's fine. If they're small, they're that small where they reduce me down to that's great. But that's not what I want to be. I just want to be understood that just because I don't agree with what anything the Eagles do, I wouldn't say anything, but a lot of what they do, that I'm the enemy. I'm not the enemy, nor do I think you are. You have every right to believe what you want to believe, and I have no right in the world to tell you that you're wrong. I'm not going to. But I believe what I believe, and I have every right to believe that too. So, listen, I back up my stuff. People will shoot me down and come at me from different angles and tell me other things as well. I pray that I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. And I don't think this organization, the way it's run right now, is ever going to fulfill the promise that they should. And that was the dynasty. And it's gone. That opportunity is gone. Vic Fangio to retire. And there's Star Wars poking the beast. At least I feel you agree that we are better than the champ. No. Yeah. We're on the same page there, brother. I like you so much. I always learn from you and respect. Now, same thing, Bruce. Thanks for chiming in, man. We are not better than the Seahawks. I don't know about that. Listen, here's the problem is I just kind of went off on Bruce about that. We don't have a full team anymore, right? I mean, we've entered the offseason, right? Star Wars, the memory of the Eagles is better than the Seahawks, maybe. But the actual Eagles right now, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know who we're better than anymore. It's the offseason. The team's being taken apart, like it or not. And to sit here and say that we're better than the Seahawks, we're not. because only one of those two teams is currently holding on to the Super Bowl trophy, and it's not the Eagles. So that answers that question pretty solidly. But anyway, listen, 36 minutes. I haven't done the day in Philadelphia sports history. I do want to do that. We're going to do that. I want to talk Olympic hockey tonight. I want to talk Olympics. I do want to talk politics, man. I'm going to throw my politic hat in the ring tonight because I'm getting tired of this, man. I'm getting so sick and tired, and it kind of goes in line with me and Bruce were sort of babbling about. I'm getting tired of listening to this. I'm getting tired of every platform being about a political rally. I'm going to talk politics. We'll talk Bad Bunny. We'll talk the TPUSA Kid Rock thing. Again, I didn't see either one of them. I fell asleep because the game was so damn boring. We're going to talk about the Winter Olympics, the athletes up there doing what they're doing, saying what they're saying. We got hockey. We got Olympic hockey starting Thursday is when Team USA will get things going in pool play. They got 3 games before they can advance on into the, I guess, the playoffs. Or what do they call it? Is that the medal round? So it's 3 games. It's 3 games, and then it's the playoffs, the quarters, and the semis. So they got like basically 3 games and 3 playoffs, and then the medal round. So they'll get started this week. 3 flyers: Sean Couturier, Dan Vladar, and Travis Sanheim, as well as Rick Tocchet, who's the assistant coach for Team Canada, or representing the Flyers up there in Italy, and John Tortorella. Remember that name? Yeah, he's an assistant coach for Team USA. For all that did not know that. Yeah, he's back in the fray. Thank God we don't have anybody on Team USA. But John Tortorella is behind the bench for Team USA as an assistant to Mike Sullivan. So that's an interesting thing. So we'll get into some hockey, but I do want to talk about what's going on with the state of the Olympics. And again, the political the platforms and all this other nonsense. But so we're going to get into that. We'll do our card of the night, all those great, wonderful things that we do on the show. And yes, I will open up the phone lines. Joe Hale, give me a minute, and we will open them up, and we'll talk whatever you guys want to talk about. Let's do our day in Philadelphia sports history. But before I do that, let's remind everybody that this is what's on tap on the network this week. Again, I am back home, still in base camp. Game that I had scheduled in North Carolina today was rained out preemptively yesterday. So my next game is not till the 23rd. So I'll be home for another few weeks before I have to permanently leave for about a month and a half. So a little extra time at home with the family is pretty good. But here we go. Our day in Philadelphia sports. Oh, before I do that, here it is. So tonight you had the Pittsburgh Sports Tonight show. You have me tomorrow, Pittsburgh Sports Tonight, and me. Wednesday, it's a Pittsburgh kind of night. And then Thursday at 4 p.m., mark your calendars, kids. The Birds Blast with Kyle Quinn returns for its final episode of season 6. Join me and Kyle, 94 WIP's Kyle Quinn, as we will sit down and we will put a final bow on the 2025 Philadelphia Eagles. And we will discuss everything that went right and all that went wrong and all that needs to change and directions that we might go. And we'll also reveal back in September when we kicked off our season, as we do every year, me and Kyle made our predictions about who would win divisions, who would come last in divisions, our wild card teams, our championship game participants, our Super Bowl matchup, and our Super Bowl champion. We will reveal how we did on those projections or predictions on Thursday. The results are shocking, by the way. That's all I want to say. They're shocking. So you need to tune in to find out how me and Kyle did in picking those teams and those positions. So on Thursday at 4 p.m., the Birds Blast with Kyle Quinn will return for season 6's finale before we say adios until April, when we'll come back the Thursday after the draft and recap the draft, free agency, and then kind of say goodbye again until the Thursday, of the first week of the season, which, by the way, Labor Day is on September 7th. I don't know if you guys know this. That's late as hell. So that means everything's going to be pushed back a week. So that means the Super Bowl is getting played on Valentine's Day. And that means the season won't get going until about, 13th, 14th? So it's going to be a late start to the football season this year. Well, that means more football longer, but a later start. But we'll me and Kyle will join you on Thursday and we'll talk that. You also have the Pittsburgh Sports Tonight as they moving to their new 4 night a week thing, and then the Gridiron Weekly and me, the Philly Friday Frenzy Show on Friday, the best of the week of the It's a Wrap Sports Network, and then Philly AM Sports and me on Sunday. So there you have it, your week in the network, and we will. We're going to talk baseball tonight too, because even though baseball for me was delayed and I couldn't work today, it has begun. And on Friday, it will begin in earnest as the Division I NCAA season will begin. I mean, like a heavy day of games starting on Friday, as they essentially will kick off the Division I season. Of course, pitchers and catchers on the 11th. It's here. We go from one sport right to the next. And again, the title of the show tonight is Hell Week. It is it's going to be a rough week to get through. But then once we get to the end of the week, we got college baseball in bloom. And it's fun from that point forward. So let's get into our day in Philadelphia sports history. On this night back in 1999, the Penn Quakers men's basketball team hosted the Princeton Tigers, who were coming off a nationally ranked 27-1 performance the season prior. By the way of a 29-0 run by the Quakers, Princeton was down 29-3 early with an impressive Ivy League win streak on the line. But the Quakers, 33-9 Quakers, led at halftime, turned it into a stunning 50-49 Tigers win, as Princeton extended its winning streak against league opponents to 35. Penn would get revenge, pummeling Princeton 73-48 in the final game of the regular season, taking the Ivy League title and the NCAA tournament berth. And if you cared about NCAA, or if you cared about Ivy League basketball, NCAA, University of Penn, the Quakers, whatever, this day was for you back in 1999. University of Penn and Princeton, whatever. But that's it. That is your day in Philadelphia sports history. And that was brought to you by the fine folks, again, at the Birds Blast with Kyle Quinn. Returning for its season finale on Thursday, not at 7, but at 4 p.m. Matter of fact, I'm going to change this graphic for next season because I guarantee you we'll probably never appear on 7 o'clock at night again, or very rarely. So we'll make an adjustment to that. But make sure you're there for us next week or this Thursday at 4 p.m. Kyle will be back for his final go around the Birds Blast for 2025. All right. So as I promised, I will open up the phone lines. You guys know how this works. If you want to get involved, you just click on the link that's about to get dropped into the chat. It will then bring you backstage. I will then put you backstage here. Well, you'll be brought backstage. I will then put you on, and we can talk whatever it is you want to talk about and have some fun. All right, phone lines are open. So there you go. Click on the link. It'll pull you back, and we'll go from there. But before we get into some phone calls and before we get talking about that, I do want to go over. So let's get into the political part. I don't do this. I don't. And it's not that I don't want to do it. It's just that I just don't have time in my life for it because but it's becoming increasingly a problem in our society, in my opinion, again. Of course, the Bad Bunny thing. I couldn't tell you who Bad Bunny was prior to the Super Bowl. I can't tell you who he is now, and I can't tell you, and I won't be able to tell you who he is tomorrow. I don't care, right? He's not my thing, right? But that doesn't mean I hate him. But what I fear the whole NFL halftime show was a political platform. Everything from the Green Day nonsense to this halftime show was a political stunt by the NFL. And to me, I think that's terrible. I mean, are they not making enough money? I mean, how much more influence does Goodell want? So whether you, and again, I didn't see it. I didn't see the performance. I didn't watch it. I personally think if it's, that kind of music is what you like, that's fine. But I couldn't tell you who Bad Bunny was. I don't know if out of 100 people in a room, 5 could explain to me who Bad Bunny was. So that's the problem I have. It's not the type of music. It's the message. It's what the political message was. And for whatever side of the aisle you come out on, the playing field is not for that. That's not where this exists. Sports are supposed to be played to bring about a break in reality. To stop thinking about that nonsense and enjoy something on a neutral playing field. And when you interpret your politics, whatever they may be, into a situation, it's not inclusive. It's very divisive. It is. Regardless of what you come out on. I am not here to pass judgment. I'm just telling you, I don't know who Bad Bunny is. I don't. And I don't care to know. But I know who the Rolling Stones are. I know who Janet Jackson is. I know who Michael Jackson is. I know who Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, Eminem. I know who those people are. That's what Super Bowl's for. A celebration with some of the biggest people in that business, not to send a political message, whatever that message may be. Now, as far as the Olympics go, again, this is not the, and far be it from me. If you want to sit up there and you want to shake your finger at the flag, that's fine. And I'm not going to tell you, well, you shouldn't be up there representing the country. No, yes, you should. If you've earned your spot, you've earned your spot. Absolutely. But you got to be smarter than that. It's like when you have a fight within your family, right? And your brother or your sister, and you're going back, and I hate you, I hate you. And then somebody from the outside tries to jump in and pick on one of you. You both unite against that outside intruder. That's what this country is. We fight internally all the time. That's our blood. That's what we were founded on. A fight, an argument, a debate. And internally, we can go at it all we want. But the minute somebody from the outside tries to poke the bear, that's when the entire colony is supposed to turn the attack on the intruder. That's what we've lost in this country. And again, if you want to say, I hate the flag, I personally would never say that, because I spent 30 years of my life defending that right for you to say those things. But that's me. I'm not judging you if you want to talk shit about the country sitting up on the Olympic day. So I'm not. That's fine. You do what you do. But it lends to a greater problem. And it's not that our own backyard's messed up. 100% messed up. But I wouldn't have it any other friggin' way, because that's what this country is. It's founded on an argument. It's founded on a war. It's founded on a fight. And we've endured for 250 years under those principles. But now it's starting to spill out into the open world. And we're looking foolish, and we're looking silly. We're looking like we are straight against each other internally, externally. And you can't have that. You got to bound together, man. If you want to have problems with the way the country's being run, about ICE, about Trump, about whatever, I don't care. But understand how you're being projected out in the world stage. This is the greatest goddamn country on the face of the earth. The greatest. There is not any country any better. And this country is not in danger of falling. It is not. It's stronger than ever. But we, as an American society, as an American culture, I'm an immigrant's grandson, right? My grandfather immigrated. Both my grandfathers immigrated from Poland in the 1930s to escape the Nazis, right? Legally. I wasn't born. I was born here, but I am of Polish descent because of what happened in Europe in the 1930s. I am here, sitting right here, because of Adolf Hitler. Thank you, Der Fuhrer. I appreciate it, man. You hooked the brother up. Okay? That's the only reason why I'm sitting here. Is because my grandparents left Europe to get away from the Nazis. But when they ask me, well, what am I? I'm an American. I'm Polish descent, but I'm an American. Because this is my home. It's my country. It's my flag. For all of its imperfectness, all of its infighting and its bitterness, there is no other place in the world I'd rather be than here. And I will respect anybody's right to be upset, to talk negatively, to live the life that they want to live. 100%. But when you're in front of the international world on that literally the biggest stage in sports, have a little pride, man. Have a little pride in where you come from and what you are. Now, there ain't nothing wrong with flexing that First Amendment right. Not at all. But they're trolling these athletes. They want that conversation. And again, if you want to go down that road, that's fine. But you got to understand the backlash you're going to get. But I'm not trying to shut anybody up. I'm not trying to strip anybody away of their right to sit on that dais because they've earned that right. I love it. I love it. Bring it on. Bring more of it. Because the minute we stop arguing, the minute we stop fighting is when we die. And that fight, that can't happen. So I don't know who Bad Bunny is. All right. I have no idea. I don't like Latino music. I don't like salsa dancing. I don't like salsa. All right. I don't like it. It's my own personal preference. I'm not against them performing, but I feel it was for a political message. Green Day are a bunch of sellout punk rockers. Straight up. All right. They're sellouts and they're hypocrites. So I don't take anything what they have to say for a grain of salt. But Green Day didn't walk into that stadium to start playing. No, they were paid by the NFL to come there and perform. Bad Bunny was paid by the NFL to come there and perform. It's the NFL that is trying to be divisive. It's the NFL that's trying to eject a political statement into the greatest football game of the year. And that can't happen, man. That can't happen. So again, that was my political roundtable for the night. I don't want to get more into that, but if you guys want to continue the conversation about it, I absolutely will. I would like if they had no halftime shows. I think they are dumb, but I feel the politicians try to divide everybody. And that's another thing. And Bruce brings up a point. Whether you're left or right, here's the thing. Don't be left or right. Be you. Be you. Don't let anybody sway your opinion. And like I told Bruce tonight, I have a strong opinion about the Eagles. I am not presenting that opinion to Bruce to make him hear or change his opinion. No, I'm just telling you how I feel. I shouldn't be judged by that opinion, nor should I be interpreted as trying to change your mind to fit my way of thinking. No, that's my opinion. You should have your opinion. I should have my opinion. But when you start affiliating yourself with the left or the right, hey, I'm a conservative or I'm a liberal, the bottom line is they don't care about you. It's big government versus big government, and you're caught in the middle. We're a bunch of pawns. So break free of this nonsense. Have your opinions, have your views, speak your goddamn mind whenever you want, say whatever the hell you want to say. But understand that not one side doesn't care about you more than the other. They don't. They care about their own interests. Both sides. You're caught in the middle. You're the fuel. You're the matrix battery. You are. Right? You are. They want us to tear ourselves apart so they can swoop in and be the great healers or whatever case they want. So agree and disagree. Enjoy it. It's great theater. Never stop the fight. Never. Because once we do that, we lose. And once we do that, we lose our identity. For like it or lump it, our identity is that. Star Wars says he likes Trump. You know, I never voted for him. Here's an interesting fact, Star Wars. I've never voted in my life. Nope. Not once. Never voted for a president in my life. I don't know how that's happened. I've never cast a vote for a president before in my entire life. I am the biggest hypocrite in the world. I've literally served 30 years in the Army, put my life on the line many times for to protect a right that I don't even exercise. But I've never voted, ever. And I don't know. Trump doesn't have to help you, Star Wars. You have to help you. You have to help you. Trump, you don't work for Trump. Trump works for you. Okay, so you kind of get what I'm saying. MattyB, don't get mad that anti-Semitic acts are up so much. I am sorry that is what happening, and I hope people stop. Listen, you're right. We are going a different route. I get it, but I can't help stupidity, right? I can't help people that are so wrapped into something that they want to actually go out and hurt somebody for it. That's breaking the law, and they need to be punished. I can't help that, right? And it's not my responsibility. It's your responsibility to take care of Bruce. It's Joe Hale's responsibility to take care of Joe. It's mine to take care of me. I'm not responsible by my rhetoric that fires somebody up to go out there and pipe bomb a 7-Eleven. That's not my fault. If you're stupid enough to get wrapped into that, then you got bigger problems. So, but you're right. But in order to stop that, in order to put, it's never going to be Xanadu. It's never, and it never was supposed to be. People got to take personal stock in what they are, and stop trying to be what they want to be. You know what I'm saying? And you can have your opinions. I can have my opinions, and we can coexist, because that's what this country was founded on. That the argument, the fight. But people are being pushed beyond that limit, but that's not my fault. A person has to be responsible for their own acts, and a person has to understand, hey, I'm taking this way too far. And when they break the law, then they must be dealt with. 100%. I agree with that. But you're right. They have to stop. I agree with you, but I just feel bad when groups of people get burned in the park and shot by racist people. So I just want to say I'm sorry that's happening. It is. Listen. I am not condoning any of this. I'm not condoning it. I'm just saying there's a way to exist. There's still a way to exist and not agree with each other. We've done it before. But I can't help stupid, man. I can't help stupid people. Just like the people who feel that I'm their enemy. Why? Because I don't agree with them? There's people out there right now, Bruce Harper, that is sitting in this world right now that hate me. That would probably not want to necessarily do me harm, but not really be upset if something befell upon me. Why do they hate me? Because I disagree with them. Why the hell should they care about why should that propel somebody to hate me? Because I don't have the same thoughts. It's just like racism. If I don't agree with something, you don't agree with me, I don't agree with you, that doesn't mean we have to be enemies. It means we just think differently. But there are people that hate me because of the way I talk, that want to see me, again, not get hurt, but would not bat an eyelash if I was hurt. But they don't know me personally. They've never met me. They don't know what kind of person I am. But by my rhetoric, by my fiery, controversial language, they hate me because I speak my mind, or I speak an opinion opposite of theirs. Bruce, we in this country, we have the right to say whatever we want. Whatever you want, whenever you want to say it. That shall never be infringed. But there's consequences about saying things. There are. You should never be censored. People should say whatever the hell they want to say when they want to say it, but there's consequences for that speech. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? You don't yell fire in a crowded movie theater. If you do, there's a consequence to that, right? That's what I'm trying to say. You can say whatever, I can say whatever, whenever, to whomever I want to say it to, 100%. But there's a consequence to that speech. We just got to be better and read the room better, I feel you're awesome as what you feel, and we're always nice to tell us your opinions. I appreciate that, Bruce. I thank you for that. And with that being said, let's go to the phones. Joe, I'm sorry, man. We're over an hour into the show, and I'm just getting to the phones, man. What's going on?
First of all, before we get into sports, I'm going to wish somebody a happy birthday.
Oh, who's that?
Michael Kaepernick.
Today's Michael Kaepernick's birthday?
Yes.
How do you know that, Joe?
I'm friends with him on Facebook.
So am I, but he didn't tell me it was his birthday.
No, I seen everybody posting happy birthday to him.
Oh, that's right. I wasn't on Facebook that much today. Oh, okay. Well, anyway, I'm going to talk to him next. But yeah, Mike, if you can hear me, happy birthday. What's he, 25 today?
He's 21.
21. That's what I thought.
I want to talk what Dombrowski said today.
What did he say? I quit?
About Castellanos.
Okay, let's talk about it.
He doesn't think he's going to show up to camp. And then there's talk about there's a trade out there. The Marlins are offering a prospect in cash. So is San Diego. And there's another team.
Colorado.
Yeah, and Colorado's offering. Who's the center fielder that everybody wants?
It's Mickey Moniak.
No, the other one.
I heard Mickey Moniak's name mentioned in the trade.
I would take Moniak back.
So would I. A platoon, a bat off the bench. I will take him back.
What's your thoughts on that?
I take him back.
On Castellanos still being here so far.
Well, I've said it all season, Joe. There's no possible way they can go to camp. And I don't blame Nick Castellanos. He doesn't want to be in that situation where he's not wanted. He knows that. We know that. The fans know it. The other team, the other players know it. The Phillies are doing him a disservice by not getting rid of him. This is a failure on Dave Dombrowski by bringing him into that camp, knowing that he's a dead man walking. I don't blame him. I don't blame Castellanos for holding out or not coming to camp. I wouldn't either. Trade me or DFA me, man. One or the other, dude. You know, S or get off the pot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So this is completely on the Phillies, Joe. Completely on the Phillies.
And Zach Wheeler spoke today.
Yeah, I saw that.
He's in camp already.
Yeah, rehabbing.
But he's not going to be ready for opening day.
No, but we end of May was what we were told.
And they're looking at other starters in free agency.
Yep.
So you might get your wish on your wish list.
What's that? Who? What? Another starter or
Yeah.
somebody's? Zach
Patrick
Gallen
Corbin.
today signed with the Padres, but what's his face? Patrick Corbin's still out there. Walker Buehler's still out there. There's some names still floating around out there.
They said if Buehler signs with the Phillies, it'll be like July. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah. I don't know, Joe. We might need him before July. We might need to stabilize that rotation before July. I need him in camp. I don't need him in camp. All right, he's a veteran. I need him around halfway through training camp. Around St. Patrick's Day. Come on in. And I'd be okay with that. But I can't wait till July. We may need him before that.
So you mentioned halftime. I didn't watch it. I'm just going to give you one fact. You know they get paid by the NFL?
Who's that? The performers?
Yeah.
Who pays them?
The record company people.
Yeah, Joe, I'm not saying you're wrong, but I have a hard time believing Roger Goodell doesn't have his hand in someone's pocket, man. Come on.
I read something about that.
I mean, he's getting money somewhere. He's getting money. But no, Joe, listen, I fell asleep. I was going to give it a chance, but that game was so goddamn boring. I fell asleep.
I fell asleep too. I woke up and Seattle won. And Seattle just lost their offensive coordinator. Everybody. Kerry King signed his deal.
Yep.
A 4-year deal with the
Raiders.
The Raiders are going to be good with him.
I don't know. The Raiders, him and Mendoza, maybe start putting together the pieces. I think you get off of Max Crosby. I think you try to trade him for some massive pick over, a return of a massive amount of draft picks over about 2 or 3 years. Because Max Crosby doesn't fit into their timeline anymore of what they're going to be doing. So they could be on I don't want to say a fast track, but it could be better days ahead. I don't know.
I don't see them trading Brock Bowers.
We need him. We need Brock Bowers.
We're gonna keep AJ Brown.
What's that?
We're gonna keep. Yes, I'll say it later. We're going to keep AJ Brown.
I disagree. AJ Brown will not be an Eagle.
I think
they're not going. Not another year of this. No, they can't.
An offensive line coach today.
They did, from the Minnesota Vikings. What's his name? Rich Krause, I believe his name is. I had it here. I did a little thing on him. Yep, the offensive line coach from the Minnesota Vikings. Yeah, Rich Krause.
He was what Vic Fangio in Miami.
Yep.
So
Chris Cooper. Jesus Christ, I was way off. Chris Cooper is the name of the new offensive line coach. We'll see. Former player, was a then he did his coaching internship and did his coaching, paid his dues, and was the offensive line coach in Minnesota. It's going to be interesting to see what he does, what the buy-in is from the actual offensive line from the Eagles, if they're buying in on him. He's a Sean Mannion guy, right? He comes from that coaching tree. So we'll see.
And I want to give you credit. You taught Al with the phone lines.
Oh, did he do it?
Yes.
He did it Friday or Sunday?
Friday.
Good. I'm glad. Did you guys enjoy that?
Yeah, me and Papernick called in.
That's good.
Wants to create an actual phone line, but that's going to be weird when people leave him messages.
Yeah, I know. So we back in our EOP days, there was a way he did have a phone line sort of piped into the system. I get that, but with the way the thing has gone digital, if we get a phone, we get a phone. I'm not against it, but this works perfect,
He likes us better because he can see and he can decline the video.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you can also ban somebody that, when you take them off stage, you can click a button down here that bans them from ever coming back. If they get a link, they can never get back in. You know what I mean?
I had to do that with one of my buddies a while ago.
I'm sure one day we'll have to do it with somebody, but I know it's not going to be you, Joe. Listen, we're going to call it a night here, but I'll be back tomorrow.
Yep.
All right, Joe Hale, my main man. So Al opened up the phone lines. Wow, what was that like, man? Joe Hale and Mike Papernick calling Al Zafiri on Friday night. I wonder how that went. Well, let's find out. What's going on, Papernick? Happy birthday.
Hey, thanks a lot, Matty. I heard that you just found out about it, but we won't, I won't hold it against you. It's all right. Don't worry about it. It's all good. No, it went pretty well with Al on Friday. I mean, he didn't really have no homerism in him.
Really? He was
it went well. Now,
so the claws were out, your claws were out, and you didn't get a chance to strike?
Nah, it was weird. I don't know. I wasn't as frustrated, about the Stoutland thing. I thought he would be trying to, maybe on the side of Sirianni and them, but he wasn't. So I was I couldn't get, I couldn't go. Yeah. I couldn't go at him. I was damn, this is not going to be good. And all my frustration about Stoutland was gone already, so.
Yeah. That's what happens.
So wait, what's this? You know what about the Super Bowl last night? I watched it here and there. What I don't like is this. I know Sam Darnold is not an elite quarterback. We all know that.
Right.
But when's this guy going to get his respect? He was kicked to the curb from the Jets, San Francisco, Carolina, goes to Minnesota. They think he's probably a one-year wonder. He won 13 games for them, loses in the playoffs. He can't win a big game. Goes out to Seattle, wins 14 games, smokes the 49ers, beats the team who I think should have been the Super, who probably just as good, probably the third best team behind Denver and Seattle and the Rams. He goes in there. He don't put great numbers up, but he did. He didn't. I saw articles. He should have thrown 2. He didn't throw no interceptions. He didn't cause any turnover. Drake May had 3 turnovers, 2 interceptions and a fumble, and people were like making him out like it was poor Drake May. What the guy over there was a bust first round pick? They said he just won the Super Bowl. Not Josh Allen, not Lamar Jackson. Not Joe Burrows, Sam Darnold.
No, you're right. Absolutely. And it's, in that vaunted 2018 draft class also to include Baker Mayfield, and Lamar, as you mentioned. You're right. I mean, it's the ultimate reclamation. And I was just as guilty as anybody else last year with Sam Darnold. We're watching all this kind of stuff unfold in Minnesota, but did anybody really have any faith and confidence in Sam Darnold? And then he goes out in the playoffs and then, they fail. Then I remember in the offseason, he goes to Seattle, and it was the same thing. Okay, great, whatever. He's winning a lot of games, but he's going to fail in the playoffs, and he didn't. You're absolutely right, Kaepernick. And my point, and this is how it ties into Jalen Hurts for me. You don't need an elite quarterback to win a Super Bowl, right? We've that's been proven over and over again in the NFL. You may need an elite quarterback to have a dynasty, but you don't need one to win a Super Bowl. And Sam Darnold went out there and proved that again. And I have no problem with that. And you're right. He deserves his accolades. It's a shame that he couldn't walk away with the MVP, but that would have been a crime if they gave it to him based on that performance. But it is a shame that he didn't get the MVP because he does deserve to go to Disney World, in my opinion.
Well, here's the thing. What helped him out was he had a running game that showed up. That helped him out immensely. But the thing is, look, everybody was shitting on Sam, and I'm like, last year, and I'm like, don't people understand this is his first taste of the playoffs? He's probably just got so much emotions. Okay, stuff happens. He goes there, and look what he does. He gets this Super Bowl. They shut down his number 1 receiver. Shut him down. Jax, whatever his name is, and Jigda, Jax, whatever the heck his name is. He's got 4 names. Yeah, he's got like 4 or 5 names. I don't know what the heck, whatever. But he's the number 1 receiver in football, they say, whatever. And they win. And they won. And they shut out the Patriots for 3 quarters. For 3 quarters.
Dominating. Yep. Sacked Drake May 7 times, 2 turnovers.
What else did they? Look, because he wasn't. He didn't put Pat Mahomes' number. Pat Mahomes against the Eagles when they won the Super Bowl only threw for under 200 yards. Oh, but people don't talk about that.
Yeah.
But they won the Super Bowl. This guy, I wish he would have got his roses. And now the Bad Bunny thing, I don't watch I don't watch the halftime show at all. I watched it on a replay. I'm not a Bad Bunny fan, so I didn't watch. I watched the one with Prince before and Dr. Dre and Snoop and them. I've watched, but I watched that all afterwards. I can't sit. I don't even watch the commercials. I just like. If the Eagles ain't in it, my ADD kicks in and ADHD. I can't.
I fell asleep, man. I fell asleep in the second quarter. I have to lie to you. I was out until the beginning of the kickoff of the second half. Woke me up. I was like, "What? Oh, where's the halftime show?" I slept through.
I was watching a whole bunch of other stuff that was going on. But it's not just boring. It's because the Eagles aren't in there. That's the only reason why.
You're not invested.
My attention ain't. Yeah. But I just wish. Now I want to ask you one question. What's this stuff with? What did the dummy say? And the running the Phillies, Dombrowski. What's going on there?
So
what was his press conference today?
So I guess Nick Sirianni or not. Nick Sirianni, Castellanos. Same thing. It's not going to come to camp. Might not show up to camp.
Because he's going to get paid no matter what. What's he care for?
Well,
they're going to fine him. He don't care.
And I don't know why would you tell people that? Why would you again continuously air out the dirty? Listen, this is a failure on the Phillies' part. They couldn't get rid of him. You got to DFA him. If you can't move, this should never be a thing right now. Castellanos should have been off this team months ago.
This team's a mess.
And as days have gone by, I kept thinking to myself, there's no way that they're going to actually make this guy go to camp. And I think they were expecting him to come to camp.
Well, here's the thing with this. But here's the thing. I get you got management. Where are the captains or the veterans on this team to get with this guy or get with management and see what's going on? Where's the Harper, the Schwarbers, the Nolas, all them guys?
You said it. I don't know who the captains are on this team. And you know what? I don't blame Castellanos for this. I'm not going there.
No, but I mean, where do these guys go? What?
You're right. You're right. Where's the internal piece to go out to management and say, don't put us through this. Get rid of this guy. We don't want him here because of the situation. Not that we don't like him. We just don't want him here because of the situation. This is ridiculous. You're making us look stupid here. And no, I agree with you. And this is a failure. This concerns me, man. And I've been saying it all off season, Kaepernick. You've heard me. There's no way they can bring him to camp. I honestly thought there was no way they could bring Alec Bowman to camp, but I guess we're a little further along with Castellanos because we already got his replacement.
Well, I think with Alec Baum, it's a different story because they don't have a third baseman where they got outfielders they can go with, but this is a mess. It's this team's in trouble. People can. I know it's 162 games and it's February. Look, this team's going. I don't know what and the Braves are going to be healthy, and the Mets may. This is.
It's not looking good. As I said,
I'll just leave it like that.
Just got there yesterday. I mean, it's not looking good.
Let me just say something. Hey, Joe Hill, thank you very much for the shout out. I appreciate it, my friend. Thank you, Matty, for acknowledging me 5 days later.
I would have seen it. I don't look at Facebook that often, man. All right. And today was a rough day. I was trying to get some things done. But no, happy birthday. Of course, Michael Kaepernick.
Listen, look, rough. Look, me and my wife split up months ago. After 30 years, you want to talk rough. So my life ain't been like roses, but I'm a happy man. I'll leave it like that. I'm a happy. Look, I made the announcement on here. Nobody knew about till just now.
Listen, I've been there, brother. I know. We'll talk offline about that. All right, Patrick.
Hey, later, man. Good night. Yeah, well, thanks, Matty. You guys have a good night. I'll get a hold of you tomorrow or during the week.
All right, man. Happy birthday, Michael Kaepernick, man. Yeah, we've all been there. Michael Kaepernick's birthday. Happy birthday, Michael Kaepernick. We'll say it again, seeing how he missed it. All right, let's get into the other night segment. We got to get through some things, and let's try to wrap this up. Good show tonight, man. Look, good conversation. Very good conversation. Let's do the other night, and we'll do the card, too. All right, it is the other night segment. We are still spotlighting the Phillies players as we are drawing closer to the start of the Phillies and the baseball season. Trucks are in Clearwater as we speak. They got there yesterday. Pitchers and catchers' first official workout is on the 11th. The players, managers, coaches are already on the ground. They're conducting business out of the Baycare ballpark facilities. The sounds of spring are in the air. And as I said, by the end of this week, and this is sports hell, this week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday are going to be, you got the Olympic hockey on Thursday, which will hopefully get things going as Team USA will finally drop a damn puck in the Olympics. Their first game, by the way, I didn't tell you, I told you the schedule, but so they got the Latvian team on Thursday at 3 o'clock on the USA Network. And then you got on Saturday, Valentine's Day, they're playing Denmark at 3:10 on USA. And on Sunday, they're playing Germany on USA at 3:10. And then they get into the playoff round. So it's Latvia, Denmark, and Germany for Team USA and pool play. Don't necessarily think there should be any hiccups with that group, as of course the evil empire is lurking out there, and that is Team Canada. And I would expect a meeting at some point. Hopefully for the gold. That would be great TV, and hopefully Team USA does it, man. God damn it, I long for 1980 was a long time ago. But yeah, so sports, hell yes. But by the end of the week, by the time we get to Friday, we have a full slate of Division I baseball games starting, regular season games starting on Friday. And you might be asking, Matty B, how in the hell are some of these schools getting ready to play baseball when you look out my window and there's like 20 feet of snow and it's like below zero? Well, I'll tell you how. Is because that fortunately is not everywhere. Down south, I mean like south, it ain't quite like that. And most of these northern teams, because you have to play an X amount of games a season to qualify for the NCAA tournament, you have to play. It's in the bylaws. If you don't play, I think it's like, I want to say 58, then you cannot be eligible for or you schedule. I should say schedule. Some of these games are not played due to God reasons, but you have to schedule 58 games. So some of these what these teams typically do is in the first like month of the season, these northern teams, they schedule games against FIU, or they schedule a series against FIU. They schedule a series against Louisiana Lafayette. They go down there. They play in tournaments. The big tournament in Puerto Rico, which will be this weekend, is a usual opening of the baseball season for a lot of teams. They head south for these early season days until things get a little bit more hospitable in the north, and then they start playing in their home ballpark. So Friday is when Division I, if you are an ESPN Plus subscriber, get ready to rev up the ESPN Plus machine on Friday, because there's games all over the place. And it will continue to go that way all the way through the College World Series in Omaha, Nebraska, sometime in June, which again is a great, great thing. So we are getting closer, and we're going to continue our little breakdown of the Phillies, spotlighting some of the players that could make a difference for this team in 2026. And tonight we're going after the Swiss Army knife of all players, the utility man, the man that every team needs, or a man like him, is your utility guy. Anywhere you can plug him in the diamond. I believe Armando Sosa can play literally every position on the diamond. And the Phillies utilize him in a lot of those positions, mainly in the infield, but he can play the outfield, and I've seen him catch. Had a really breakout offensive campaign in 2025. 276 batting average, 39 RBIs, 11 home runs, 67 hits, 243 at-bats, an OPS of 777, solid OPS. Slugging percentage of 469, OBP of 1. I don't know what OBP of 1. What the hell does that mean? That's obviously a mistake. How can you have an OBP of 1? But anyway, this was a breakout year for Armando, and really helped out, especially as I recall early in 2025. If you remember, in that first series against the Nationals, he was called upon quite a bit in that series, and he was like a home run hitting machine. Matter of fact, I think for the first 2 months of the year, he was jacking baseballs out of the yard left and right. And there was a brief moment of time, to include me. I remember saying this with the early season struggles, and they were hard. Alec Bohm struggled out of the gate last year, if you guys recall. I mean, he could not catch a cold, that dude. And by about 10 games in, Sosa was red hot. Bohm was ice cold. I called for Sosa to be inserted into the starting lineup until he would cool off, which he would eventually. But hurting out Alec Bohm was him, and Brandon Marsh were criminally bad to start the season, if you remember last year. And Sosa was red hot, but Thompson, in his quirky ways, kept using Sosa off the bench. Wasn't really riding the hot hand. There was a lot of angst thrown at Rob for that, rightfully so. But Sosa definitely proved his weight in gold last year for the Phillies, and I expect him to serve a very important purpose again this year. Does Rob Thompson does he lean on him more? Does he, perhaps with the platoon situation in the outfield with Otto Kemp, there's not necessarily many position battles up for grabs this spring, but that final spot on the bench, not to say that Armando Sosa doesn't have a spot on the bench. He does. But that final spot on the bench that Weston Wilson used to occupy is going to be a highly contested spot. And I think Dylan Moore might be the, sort of the dark horse for that spot right now. You're definitely going to need an Armando Sosa to sort of kind of be that calming influence in between Otto Kemp and Dylan Moore. They're two very unknown type commodities there. So I think Sosa is going to be as important as he was in 25, and even maybe more important than he was last year for the Phillies. So there you have it. Tonight's Phillies spotlight player, Armando Sosa. And we are getting deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper into the spotlights, where we should finish by the end of the week. I am going to finish spotlight players this week. Why the Phillies play college teams in spring training. Yeah, are they playing any? I don't think they're playing any this year, but yes, that is the reason. A lot of your MLB teams will play college teams in the preseason, is because these teams come south in order to play. The season starts Division I on February 13th, and you got to get in your games in order to qualify for the NCAA tournament. So they got to play, and they're obviously not playing in Philadelphia on February 13th. They're obviously not playing in Minnesota on February 13th, right? They're not, unless they're going to play inside the Viking Stadium. But they're not. So they got to go somewhere. They got to go warm. They got to go south. And they go down to Florida. They go out to California, Arizona. They go into Louisiana, Texas, places like that. And they play like 3 or 4 game series with these teams that they have no connection to. It's obviously not conference play. It's just to get the games in. And yes, it's a lot of times you'll see like the Phillies playing like Widener University, or Villanova will come down to Clearwater on their way to FIU and play a game against the Phillies, stuff like that. And that's actually pretty fun, but that's exactly why they do it, Joe Hale. All right, let's get to our favorite. Did we not cover tonight or something? We're going to do the card, but did we not cover something tonight? Oh, we did everything I was going to talk about. I think we did. But all right, we'll catch you tomorrow if we did. All right, let's get to my favorite segment. That's right. It is Matty B's card review. It's time. It's time to jump into the wonderful world of sports card collecting. And again, another sign that spring is here. February the 12th. It has been confirmed. That is when 2026 Topps Series 1 will drop. That's right. Just now, as the dust is settling from the 2025 collecting season, we're going to gear it back up on Thursday, as Topps 2026 Series 1 baseball cards will hit stores nationwide on Thursday, as the 2026 baseball cards will be here. And again, another sign that summer and spring are upon us is when the new baseball cards hit the stands, and it happens on Thursday. Now, I know I'm not going to sit here and tell you the schedules of when and where these cards are going to go. I would best suggest check out your local Walmarts, Targets, card shops that you go to in your area. Talk to the vendors. Say, hey, can you tell me when they might be here or when they get onto the shelves? That's the best thing to do. I was in a Target today, actually, and talked to some kid. I don't know why I was talking to him. He's like 16 years old. He didn't know what the hell he was talking about. I don't know why I'm asking him a question about a shipment of baseball cards, but I'll go tomorrow. I got to go back, get something else, and I'll find a manager and I'll ask. I always do it every year just so that I can get an idea of when these cards are going to hit, because they will go quick. That initial strike will go fast. But yeah, the 2026 Topps Series 1 will hit the shelves on Thursday. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. But tonight we're still on 2025, right? We're going to continue talking. We'll be talking 2025, 10 years from now. But tonight we're going to talk 2025 Topps Update Series, not Chrome, just a Topps Update Series. Another one of their inserts from that series. Not a replica, but like a retread of the Topps 2021 MVP series that they did in 2021. Topps listed they had a series of, I believe it was 14 cards, serial numbered MV1 through 14. Out of that set that highlighted, the most valuable players of the league at that time. And in 2025, they retroed it and put it as part of the 2025 Topps Series update series. So here's the card tonight, and it's the Freddie Freeman Most Valuable Player card from 2021. It's based off the 2020 season. This was the card that Topps released in 2021 to honor Freddie Freeman in an MVP type season. It was NV7 in 2021, and it's NV7 here in 2025. As again, this is an insert, a retro from 2021. Pretty cool looking card. Of course, it's Freddie Freeman. He's one of those cards that you do kind of put aside, and especially something from the Braves era. It's a cool card. There's about 14 of them in this set from 2025 that retro back to 2021, and I have a few of them, and Freddie is one of them. Currently, this card, as an ungraded card, recently sold for what was it? I had the numbers up here. Let me go back. I'm sorry. I thought I had this. All set up. Here it is. Let's bring it up. No, that's not the one. Oh, yeah, here it is. So as an ungraded card, you're looking at about a $2. It's valued, estimated at about $2. But as a PSA 8, you got $7. PSA 9 goes up to 13. 9.5 jumps from 13 to 25. And then recently a PSA 10 sold for $38. So again, this is one of those cards that of a popular player, future Hall of Famer. And these are one of the cards that you invest some money in to get graded if you happen to come upon it, because it will have value. Its value will increase, especially once he retires and does get into the Hall of Fame, which he most doubtably will be a first ballot Hall of Famer when he retires. But yeah, about $38. So if I was going to sell this right now, ungraded in the condition that I have, I would probably list it for somewhere around probably $20. I'd list it for $20 just to kind of see if I get any bites. But yeah, so there you have it. There's the Freddie Freeman NV7 from the 2025 Topps Update Series collection. Pretty cool card. Again, it's a retro card. It was from the 2021 Topps collection. No frills, no whistles. This is a base card. It does come in. There's a rainbow foil, and as we move through the chrome set. But here it is in its physical form. Again, pretty cool card. And there it is in the back with its, identifying it as an insert and a retro card from 2021. There you have it. Topps 2025 Freddie Freeman and Most Valuable Player from 2021 Topps. And that is your card of the night. Anywhere between $2 and about $37 right now. But all right, listen, I want to thank everybody. Good show tonight. Good conversation. Tomorrow, some of the topics we'll get into. We will start talking Eagles schedule tomorrow. I want to address the Eagles schedule because it's never too early to start talking the schedule. It's not as easy as a lot of people are thinking it is. I also want to continue our series on top storylines by position group. We did the offensive line about 10 days ago. We didn't do any last week. We're going to do the quarterbacks tomorrow. We're going to talk the top storylines of the Eagles quarterbacks. Should be a fun, non-controversial topic. But we'll discuss that tomorrow. Of course, your Philly Spotlight player, another card, your other day in Philadelphia sports history. Maybe we have some more. Maybe you have Nick Castellanos breaking news. He's gone. We can talk about the new Eagles offensive coordinator. Whatever you guys want to bring to the table tomorrow, it is on the table for you to discuss. I want to thank you guys for tuning in tonight. It's great to be able to be back with you again here in base camp, at least for another couple of weeks, as my game got rained out today before I left. So thankfully, I didn't get all the way down there to find out that it was rained out. My next game is on the 23rd, so I am here for the next couple of weeks. But I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your night. Have fun. Have a great day at work tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow night, and I'm out of here.